I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
A very pleasant good afternoon and welcome to the Curling Stadium Martensville Invitational. We're here in this A-side game between Kayla Skrlik out of Calgary and Youbeen Park from Korea. I'm Dave Schmel. I'm joined by Jim Nixon. We're happy that you're here with us this weekend. We have every draw of every sheet all weekend long here from Martensville. And Jim, you said you saw one of these teams a little bit earlier this morning.
Yeah, I saw the Park game against Nancy Martin, and the Korean team played quite well in that game, and it's I expect them to continue. They had really good draw weight for most of the game, and kind of pretty much total control, winning the game 8-1 at the end of the day. So, yeah, and Skrlik, I've seen Skrlik a little bit myself in different events over the last year or so, and I think that this should be a good game.
And it is Team Skrlik throwing the Redstones here. Park with the yellows. Coming right underneath the corner guard. Maybe a touch deeper than I would have liked. So it looks like that they are going to come after this with just soft takeout weight here. This is Ji-Yoon Kim.
It's a little late on the sweep on that one, I think.
Awfully tight to the guard. It's going to tick it and kind of come back to their own. Yeah, they probably could have saved that. Just probably their first time down this sheet, and you're probably likely not throwing that turn during practice.
No. Well, there's not many paths during practice.
So you now see Skrlik looking to open things up here. Wouldn't mind rolling the shooter onto the rings. Here's a stone from Ashlyn Skrlik. Makes a takeout. Now it will be Park electing to come under.
I have to work this pretty hard. Not going to make her.
So now Park's going to try to get underneath that. Sorry, Skrlik's going to try to get underneath that wing. It's a little bit of back and forth, and just somebody needs to make a shot here.
Yeah, first end, whatever you want to call it in the first end. Sometimes first ends can be less than pretty.
And feel free to interact with us on the chat if you have any questions, or if you're maybe new to curling and don't know exactly what you're watching. Be happy to see if we can help you out there.
This one looks a little bit heavy.
And it's going to drift behind the tee line and all the way to the back of the 12. They lie second and third right now. Well, they do lie shot, I believe, in the back. What looks pretty close, Jim?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's red's 1 and yellow's 2. Red's 3.
So here is Yuncho Lee. It looks like this path is coming up to speed relatively quickly, but kind of makes sense. We've done nothing but play this path.
Yeah, it's a little heavy in there. It's a little bit lazier going over there than maybe sometimes we've seen, but everybody's just that little bit heavy too. So probably more the impact than actual whether or not it's going to curl enough, because I haven't seen anything this year that didn't have lots of curl, including the game this morning. So, or earlier this afternoon, I guess.
So now Margot Fleming. Try to work this one over, weasel into a good spot. This one's starting to take the curl pretty hard now. And there's the finish.
Yeah, perfect spot, really, above the tee line and dead behind the guard. So real good shot.
So trying to figure out the shot call there. Looks like they're looking to throw maybe back line weight.
Yeah, that'd be, I think, all you could throw there. If anything more than that, you're not going to get to it. Tough little shot. Freeze, just a straight freeze wouldn't be a bad shot here either, but I think with that ice, they must be trying to make a bit of a move on it.
So the stone on its way from Lee. That one came down in a hurry, and it does look to be second shot rock there.
Yeah, I think it is. Probably a little bit of an overcurl. They probably would like to have hold it a little bit more, but just to put them in a little better position to play it after. But that's pretty good.
So I think this would be a pretty good example of why a lot of times you see the first end played just a little bit more open than this.
Yeah.
Many times.
Yeah, you don't usually see too many first ends with this many rocks in play, that's for sure.
So here's the final from Fleming. This looks a little bit hot, so we might have called an audible there. I'm going to try to carve it over, get it underneath. That's pretty well managed, and they do lie 1 and 2.
Yeah, good shot. Just the only problem with that, of course, is it just sets up that the same shot coming back at you and makes it a little bit tougher. But sitting 2 in the first end anytime is not bad. And this is certainly not an easy shot here for Park.
And it is Skrlik with the hammer here in the first. And the first for the skipper. This one's starting to overcurl on him. It digs in really, really hard, and it's gonna just ricochet off. They're gonna be a live shot for now, but you're not gonna be happy with that result.
No, sets up a pretty nice little hit and flop for Skrlik, and it's when she makes that, if she makes that well, then it's going to be a pretty tough situation for the Koreans. They might have to play a double and hopefully just give up 2. Just off nose there is pretty darn good.
So Kayla Skrlik from Calgary, winner of the Alberta Scotties 2 years ago, and the runner-up last year. Throws her first here in the opening end.
Oh, for 1 minute.
Pretty much noses it and leaves them sitting 3.
Yeah, I think that's a great shot, great spot. Really, it's actually a much tougher double than I was envisioning it to be. I thought it'd be a little bit flatter, and that close together would be not a problem for the Koreans. But now they got a problem. It's going to be hard to get 2 of them out, and you can probably wiggle in and be shot, or maybe just second shot with just playing the red and then the yellow. I think that's what she has to play anyway, Dave. They don't see anything else.
And this is a tall order indeed, because you ever miss this one, it's going to be 4 right off the bat.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. You can make a pretty darn good shot here and still give up 3 even, right? So 2 would look pretty nice to her right now if she could manage to
Yeah, I think 2 would be enough to make you do a backflip.
Yeah.
They could do it.
Yeah.
We would break something.
Yeah, we would for sure. Yeah. Everything, actually.
We have a member in my home club who's a former gymnast.
Oh,
And he
really?
just got it from broomstacking at one point and said, "Oh yeah, I can do a backflip. I'll do one right now." Now I had just seen him have a couple adult beverages,
Yeah.
so I'm like, "Oh, buddy, well, buddy, nope." And then, boom, perfect sticks the landing. Even
Oh.
the Russian judge loved it.
Yeah. Taking a lot of time on this shot there. Fortunate we don't have clocks here because this was a very long conversation to really come up with what you almost had no choice to do in the first place. But I can appreciate it. You hate to not throw the right shot here.
Tough to win a game in the first, but you can often lose it.
Yeah.
So Youbeen Park from Seoul, South Korea, with the final stone of the first for her. Come down with a fair amount of weight.
She can just tick. She could possibly get the right roll onto the.
Try to get there, didn't tick at all, and it rolls off, and it releases the stone in the back. Now I'm just looking for a second. Can you ever make a play on that and get 5 now?
I don't see them. It might be possible. You'd have to hit it really thin and go back. And he would never do it anyway. She's going to play a draw for 4.
Yeah, I can dream though.
Oh yeah, no. If you had to make it in the last end to get 5, which you have some familiarity with, then you could play it. Yeah. I'm sorry, that wasn't 5. I take that back, Dave. I remember I've got that wrong.
Yeah. Too soon.
Well, I was amazed I thought of that actually. So draw for 4, eh? That's big start.
That's certainly a big start, indeed.
I can't talk. I've only played 3 games this year, and I've given up 2 5-enders. So
Okay, there you go.
yeah,
Well,
managed to win one of them. Lost the other one though.
final stone in the first 10. Looking for a draw for 4 to take a big early lead is Kayla Skrlik. And this one needs to slow down. It seems to be quite heavy. It's going to come to the rings and to the ones in the back. So it'll be a score of 3, and they'll take that early advantage. Here in Martensville, we'll be back on Curling Stadium.
Don't forget your brooms.
You got it.
Come on up. Well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got 3.
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
And we're back here in Martensville. It's the Curling Stadium Martensville Invitational. Dave Schmel and Jim Nix here. And we're happy to be joined by you for this match. And it was a big 3-ender there, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse. And with a little luck, Korea might have got out of that a little bit better. But at the same time, it was just Skrlik's team just kind of turned it up and made some nice shots in the last half. And the Koreans, just not a good end for them. And I expect to see them come back a little bit. There's a big difference between 3 and 4 too, just even mentally. So I think that a little bit of a small plus for the Koreans at the end of that end.
So that one comes right on down to the right nostril. Skrlik happy to just play rocks in right now and force Park to come up with something.
It's pretty long, that one.
Yeah, you'd certainly want to be a lot closer than that.
Yeah, and this ice, any ice that has 4 to 5 feet of curl, if you're not within 6 feet or so of the house, then it's going to be pretty tough to take advantage of it.
Second stone from Jenlyn Ramsey here. Looks like they're going to try to play the corner tick and just miss it if they were playing it. Or if they're drawing the 4-foot, it was pretty good. So,
yeah, I'm not sure which shot she was playing actually. Jerry Lynch from just across the strait from where we are here, and I'm in Nova Scotia. And she's originally from PEI, played here for all of her junior career and portion of her ladies' time as well.
You have any chance to interact in your dealings?
They played in a few of our events over the years, so chance to see her. She used to play with Aaron Carmody. They ended up with runners up in the Scotties one year, playing with Aaron throwing last rock and Kathy O'Rourke skipping that team. So came out of nowhere. Both those girls were just fresh out of junior, and Aaron threw skips rocks and made everything for a week. So.
Looks like we're going to have a decidedly simpler end here in the second. This one does need a curl. It's tracking on them. They are going to remove the rock and just shuffle the deck some, and lucky to get that one to come up.
I like this call by the Koreans. They're going to ignore that rock and try to go right around the corner. Not quite as much curl going to the outside on this sheet as I've seen previously. She'll take in center ice, still 4 feet, so it's still a bunch, but.
This is Ji-Yoon Kim. That's pretty good. It is underneath that long guard, but you're going to have to do something about it if you're Skrlik.
Yeah, it's a real good shot, really. It's about the best you could do with it. You drop it 2 feet shorter, maybe save a little bit, but I think that was a pretty good run. Like we said, that guard is so long that it would be difficult to get it in there where Skrlik couldn't get it out, but Well, it's hard to throw at them when you can't see them. So
Stone's on the way, working hard now off of it. Now it needs to come over, and there's another one just tracking, and it's going to slide right by. So that little aggressive play, and here's another aggressive play. Going to come right back under again.
yeah, good call. I like to see that. It's this park team won the Spiel last week in Alberta in the part of the curling series in Alberta, so they can obviously play. I like this call. There's always a chance of setting up a double, but if you can follow the exact same line, it would be a really tough double. Needs to get over there, though.
Work hard to get there, and they do. Nice brush, and that's a very nice shot.
Yeah, good shot. You can see the skipper there holding up the broom to see how much you can see, and looks like probably just a little under half.
Now Fleming. Got to be really tight here. God, now it's going to pick it out, slide over. That's about as good as you could throw it.
Yeah, it was a real good shot. Nice weight control. Well swept. They got that figured out now where it doesn't jump quite as hard as they probably were envisioning earlier.
So as we come through here and they line up this double, reminder that you can catch all the draws from all the sheets. Make sure you like and subscribe us on YouTube. Click that little bell and get your notifications. Don't miss any action. We have a lot of it on the channel this week. We have the men's event in Penticton. Did I say that right? No.
Yeah, close.
A lot of the top men's teams are there, and look at that shot. They catch it just right and to a perfect split of the house, Jim.
Yeah, it was a great shot. Really good shot. Just getting that to roll in that direction was fine. If they left one red, they left one, but they managed to do it all on that one shot. So well done. Yeah, I'm not good with the BC geography, but I know that whole Penticton, Kamloops, and Kelowna area up there is a super nice place in the summer and a pretty active curling community in that area up there in the wintertime too. Some big spiels in those towns.
Now, we're doing some pregame research here, and I saw that Jenna Eng is from Bigger, Saskatchewan. So I never heard of Bigger, so I had to look it up. And their town's got a sign as you come in. New York is big, but this is bigger.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Koreans are set up for the deuce here if they can just exchange rocks for a few more shots. It's pretty flat, Dave. I think she indicated she would go for the hit and roll over that way, but it still looks to me to be a little bit flat to get where you're too far over there without going behind the tee or somewhere where it can be easily gotten. Pretty good effort there. Dave might have just lost the feed for a second here.
Ah,
there he is.
Good. No, great. It came all the way across, and like you said, just under.
Yeah, it was a good try. I don't know if it was really there, but she threw it hard and threw it well and almost got to where she wanted to. And if she actually stops a rock less, then it becomes a very difficult shot for the Koreans to remove. This is going to be interesting. This is pretty aggressive if she does it. Sorry, Dave.
No, it's okay. I called the shot and it was brilliant, but unfortunately I was muted.
Oh, okay. That's where you got to decide how hard you want to go to try to get 3 and how realistic it is to get 3. It's, if you can put it right where her broom is, you do have a chance at 3 because you line it up right on the red one, and it would be hard to remove either stone. But if you set it just 6 inches one way or the other, then it maybe becomes an easy double, and your draw you're hitting against 2. So I like the call. The other option would go open side and settle for your 2. So that would be maybe a little safer. But this is good. This is aggressive, and I like the effort.
Yeah, because it's not just there and good enough to be on the right line. It has to be the right weight too.
Yeah, everything about it has to be quite good, or else you run the risk of allowing Skrlik to get rid of all of them.
So Youbeen Park. This one needs to curl. Taking the curl now. How's the weight? And that is pretty good. And they do lie too.
Yeah, that's really good. I wasn't sure until I look at the overhead, and it's it's a really good shot. She wasn't necessarily looking to bump it, but the little bump didn't hurt her any, and becomes a very tough shot if you're going to try to get rid of one of them. Well, I can tell you one thing. You can't see as much as you just put the broom down for, so that's for sure. It's really going to be, I think, she's going to play a little draw freeze or some such thing to this. I thought first she was going to try to just basically hammer it and get rid of one. Probably not going to get rid of both, but you maybe could have if the circles are really fast. But
so interesting call. It looks, if you throw this one incorrectly, you're going to get back that 3 you just earned.
Yeah, it is an interesting call, and I'm not quite sure. I'm assuming that she's going to try to play basically the little bit of freeze on the top one, so that she's probably shot rock, but there's an angle there where if Park does anything with it, she's going to get rid of one. She could also come around those yellows, although it's tough, but you could come around them and be full 8 foot. And she may be trying to do that since looks like it's a long way out there for the freeze.
Either way, they need this to curl. Needs to curl and get there. Are you going to tuck a piece under? How much do you get there? A little bit, but I don't think it's enough.
Man, I'll tell you what, that was a heck of a shot, though. She may have gotten enough to not allow her to get that clean through there for 3. If it jams, and it's not bad. We can see it on the overhead, and maybe in a minute, and might be a little easier to see it. And when you look here, it looks like it's going to be. She has to get right pretty well to the nose to not make contact with the yellow. I don't know if she can get quite to the nose, but she'll get pretty close. Yeah, it's going to be a great shot if she makes this for 3. Be a pretty good shot if she makes it for 2.
So Youbeen Parker, the big shot here in the second. Final stone of the second. Feeling like it's a little bit up weight. Now I got to hold the line, make sure it's perfect. We're on and off. We're really, really close. Gonna get the one and not move anything. And it's 1, 2, 3. Great shot by Park. Fantastic. And they will tie it up after 2 here in Martensville. We'll be back on Curling Stadium. Jim, what do you think of that?
Yeah, seen it again. That was so difficult a shot. She probably just rubbed the yellow and saved it. To get 3 out of that was remarkable because Skrlik really did make an end-saving shot with her effort. So, well done, Korea.
All right, and we'll be back after this.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
We're back here in Martensville. It's the Curling Stadium Martensville Invitational. And it was a big 3-ender and a huge shot by the Korean skip to retie this game. And we start all over.
Yeah, that was as good a shot as you're going to see all year that the Korean skip made on that shot. It was, the high hard ones, raised takeouts and all that make a lot of drama, but that was just as difficult or more difficult to score 3 on that shot. after Kayla Skrlik made a really nice shot to almost escape that end with as few as one, but just tremendous shot by Youbeen.
And Skrlik, I mean, she had the opportunity to make sure she probably only gave up 2 there. I liked it to try to make it tough and maybe even weak, put the force on. Threw a rock as good as she could, but Youbeen Park had one that was just that much better.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's got to make the Koreans feel better now because they took that early 3 right in the nose and were able to jab right back.
Yeah, for sure. You're thinking after the 3 in the first end, it's going to be a bit of a grind, and you're going to have to do a lot of things right and get a few breaks along the way to maybe get back to even after 4 or 5 ends. And this time they snapped her right back and back to scratch here.
I think we see both teams taking a breath after that end now. Although I was wrong about the last one. I thought it was going to be somewhat simpler. It turned out not to be.
No. Good point, though. You do see that sometimes after you get a couple ends or something that are, kind of going hard at it and everything. And for both teams, sometimes they just need a little, like you say, a little time to breathe, a little time to think and relax a little bit again, rather than have everything be high pressure. So.
Lost the shooter on that one. They wanted to hang around. Now the center is going to get peeled away, and we are going to have a much simpler end.
Yeah, it would appear that was going to be the case because that guard's pretty long too. A lot of teams would just leave this if they were even with hammer. They would leave this one.
So Seoul, Korea, the capital of South Korea, is the world's 6th largest metropolitan economy. What do you think are the top 5?
Well, probably New York City.
That is one.
Probably Beijing.
Incorrect.
Okay, I'm done.
Tokyo, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Paris.
Paris. Okay. Yeah.
Probably some factor of GDP that goes in there. I don't know. Or per capita income. I don't know all the metrics that go on in that.
Yeah.
My favorite Korean food is kimchi, that pickled cabbage.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've never tried it.
Well, it's really interesting how you make this. Every Korean's going to say that their grandmother makes the best kimchi.
Okay.
It's one of those things. So you take cabbage, specifically Napa cabbage, or at least that's what we make it out of here. Maybe they have a slightly different variety. And it's put in with a variety of spices, most of them being chili peppers.
Okay.
And sometimes this like little bit of a shrimp piece, these itsy bitsy, almost microscopic shrimp. Yeah. And then traditionally it's put in a clay pot and buried.
Oh, really?
And it just naturally ferments and ends up kind of pickled and spicy as all get up. How long does it take? You can do it at home, and there's methods you can do just in a glass jar, which you can have done in just as few as a couple weeks because there's salt in it, obviously, and that helps to drive out the water content. I tried to make it. I made it once, and I was not unsuccessful. I have a slightly more of a cheater method of making it now, but where you use a couple readily available ingredients from the market that, well, at least from an Asian market, that you can forego the tremendously long fermentation time.
Okay.
Like I've heard of kimchi being out for I think months.
Oh, really?
There's a Asian market near me, and there is an entire aisle which has a shelf of kimchi pots.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah.
So we have that big event going on in BC. Right now we have Kolomaya 3-2 over Van Amsterdam. Maeda has a 4-1 lead on Kevin Cooey, so his troubles appear to be continuing.
Yeah, I think he lost there, if I'm not mistaken.
Scott Howard has a 3-0 lead. Mike McEwen all tied up at 2. And Danny Casper has a 2-0 lead over Nobert. And we're still waiting to get the updates and the scores from our other games here.
Casper looks like, just looking at it a little bit earlier today, I didn't read anything about it. Pretty young team out of the U.S.
Danny Casper was his team was the up and coming juniors team for quite some time. Now they're on the men's circuit. They seem to perennially beat my friend Scott Dunham. It's like kryptonite. It almost seems to be. They call him Casper, the not so friendly ghost. But all those guys have been playing together for years. Yeah. Especially we have a much smaller competitive community, so they really know each other.
So what would their age be? Like somewhere around 23, 24, or is it?
I'm just gonna get you the answer.
Okay. We have a rock and play. Actually, I guess we can.
Oh, you want? Oh, you can talk about that. Sure.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Dan is 23.
Okay.
His home club is the Ardsley Curling Club, right up the road from me. So yeah, he's been in our club on more than one occasion.
Yeah. Yeah, I curled at the Ardsley Club and the St. Andrews Club, but I think the St. Andrews Club is no longer. I think they just turned it into 100% golf back many years ago in New York.
Well, the Ardsley Curling Club. I'm sorry, what club were you talking about?
The New York International Spiel used to be at St. Andrews, St. Andrews and Ardsley. I think it was St. Andrews was the name of the club, and it was a combination golf curling, and I'm pretty sure they closed the curling club many years ago there, but ours are good to hear. Ardsley's still going.
They did, and actually, the St. Andrews Club exists as a club in the Grand National Curling Club, but they do curl at Ardsley.
Oh, okay.
Almost got it under there. So Park's gonna take a shot at this. How bold do you get here?
I don't think you get too cute with this. You played this whole hand really, or the other team almost is more so than you has played this whole hand just a blanket and you don't want to do anything silly here, like give her a draw for 2 just by checking that guard. So getting the roll behind is possible for sure, but I'm not going to be too aggressive with this. I'm going to make sure I hit it and stay in the house somewhere. And if she wants to blank, go ahead.
Yeah, Team Casper was actually at one point they won the 2022 juniors under U21.
Okay.
And then went on to Worlds. He had his team in at Nationals last year as well.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I mean, Skrlik's going to have to do a little bit of work to get it.
Yeah, she was really close. She got a little tiny bit of roll and was pretty aggressive going after that. Good for her.
So final stone in the third. Kayla Skrlik looking for the blank. Tight to the guard, past it, and looking to roll out, and not going to get the rollout, so that will be a single point for her, and they'll have the 4-3 lead as we head to the fourth end here from Martensville.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like 1 more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
Like, if you get funds, spread it around.
And we're back here in Martensville. Interesting game thus far between Youbeen Park and Kayla Skrlik. I'm Dave Schmel. I'm joined by Jim Nix. And really aggressive play that we were talking about in the break by Park to get that force there.
Yeah, it was, Dave. It was there was really nothing happening that whole end till the last 4 shots when Park tried to go around the corner early in her shot, and then they hit and rolled, not behind the corner, but enough that I thought Park would play that really safe and roll to the center of their sheet, but she didn't. She called it tight to the guard and got to put a 1-inch roll, and then Kayla really didn't go crazy hard to blank it, but she was trying to blank it and just couldn't roll out. So really Korea managed to make the to create that 1 point, which they would really like at that time. So
because of course now they move that hammer into the even ends.
Yeah, it's always a little disappointing when you're Skrlik's team in the sense that you play that. It's like sometimes when you just nose hit the last one. You play a whole end really right from the get-go to blanket, and then you get the opportunity. And it was an opportunity because it wasn't, she had some room to work with. and then you don't get the blank, you get the point. Even though you score, you still feel a little bit like, it was a little disappointing after playing that whole end to achieve one thing and not getting it. So,
but one very important thing happened that end. We got to talk about kimchi.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and now I know what it is. I'm not sure I'm going to try to make it, but I do know what it is. It actually sounds decent. So. Yeah, we did have some time there to talk. There wasn't a whole lot happening for a little while, so that was good.
I have a video on my YouTube channel if you want to watch it.
No, do you really? Yeah.
Shows my modified simple method to make it.
Okay.
It should be available in some of your grocery stores, though.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah, we have obviously some. We're not just totally small town here. We sort of can figure it out. We do have big cities around, so. And actually really quite growing Asian communities as well, even in the smaller towns. There's been obviously a lot of immigrants over the last number of years, and from all over, and we certainly have a pretty good sized Korean community here in town. And there is actually one little Asian grocery or whatever. It's not really a full blown grocery store, but it certainly carries almost all of those sorts of products, I'm sure.
The word you were looking for was a bodega.
Bodega, okay, yeah. Yeah, I've heard that before too. I should have known that. Groceteria was pretty good, though, I thought.
Oh, I thought, yeah. I mean, I never heard that one. I
think I just made it up.
Oh, well, okay. History being made here, right here on Curling Stadium.
Yeah.
It might be the King's English, but it's Jim's Canadian.
Yeah. And more specific, Eastern Canadian even. So it's even.
That one looks pretty good. They're gonna get not really a full roll behind the guards, though.
Yeah, she just need a hair more weight than that. And I was just thinking when it was going, and they just didn't roll far enough. But I thought the Koreans also, the other thing they do really well, this team, Park's team, she calls the line very well and manages the rolls quite good. So they just that whole shot management of the stone coming down and doing what it was supposed to do has been very good for this team from what I've seen over the last game and a half. Last game was amazing. All those shots that they were doing around the corner guard were just great.
They definitely been keeping the pressure on the Skrlik team here. And this one needs to come up a touch, or else you're going to lose that shooter. And all the way across, and to even lose yours on the way by, you jam into it, but it's going to be Park sitting shot after that.
Yeah. This is basically the same way they played the last time they came down this end, coming around the corner.
Well, it's a shot and a line they know well now. Right about there, right about that logo is where they really kind of take off and dig in. And this one comes right in front of the tee line. Another fine shot.
Yeah, you're right about that too. That one there, even just not that it was going much further, but it almost seemed to just come to an abrupt halt. And same as when the one that rolled that way, both girls were jumping on it to try to get it over, and it just kind of stopped dead there, and they just caught the edge of the hat and slowed her down.
Well, it's that little torn part that,
Yeah.
stops it more.
Yeah.
So now Skrlik's going to do the same thing here. Do it all, but just a little bit better. Moves it there, and they that's a great shot. They want the moment. Now, what do you think of those two different options, Jim?
Well, yeah, it's interesting. I think I like the draw better than this shot. I just think this is the end result might be okay here, but it's pretty tough right now, and they've got a really good handle on that out turn come around. All you got to do is go down there and move that rock a couple inches and sit on the corner, and you're in good shape. A lot more familiar with the shot than this one, so I'm not sure I'd be doing this. I'd be going the other way, I think. But this one could give you a good result too, as long as you get to 3/4 of the rock. A couple left-handers on this team.
So here's Lee. Oh, and that slides right by everything. And, well, Jim, you were proven right.
Well, I think it's just a tough time to kind of try something that you might not know what it's going to do out there. I think there was a little better opportunity with the other shot as well. But if it had worked, they would have been sitting really good too. So.
So now Fleming. Gets it in there, and don't know if they got to be number 2 there. Well, really close. We'll take another look at it.
Yeah, I feel like the yellow one should be number 2, but they are hitting this one. That might convince me otherwise.
So here's the second for Lee. Did not curl up far enough. They're going to lose the shooter out the back.
Yeah, I don't think the shooter was ever going to a good spot on that shot. That's for sure. It was just going to be hard to get anything other than number 3 out of the shooter on that shot. That's actually the shot that I thought the Koreans should have played this time instead of coming around the corner. When they were sitting 1, I figured why not come around this one and go on that side so there's no roll behind the guard. But I know they had such good luck the 2 ends ago that I'm not surprised they went that way. But so Skrlik will get another shot at that burying one here.
Kayla Skrlik from Calgary, Alberta, with her first in the fourth. You brought that one a little bit too deep.
Yeah, she won't be real happy with the result of that one for sure. Interesting here. I'm not sure. Okay. It feels like it'd be a little easier to go the other way since we just had two rocks come down there, both kind of differently ended up in the same spot as far as the line went.
For a second, I thought they were lining up the double.
Oh, I did too. I did too.
Because if you ever made that and stuck it, you'd be lying too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think. Yeah. I don't know if you could get. I don't know if you could get it past the yellow. But yeah, you still probably would anyway because it'd be. Even if you lost that one yellow one, you'd still probably be sitting two. But that's a really, really hard shot. That's a desperation shot, I think, for later on.
Well, they've shown no hesitation to call the difficult shot. So
no, that's true.
I feel like I have to look for all of them now.
Yeah.
So the Korean skip with her first. This one needs to bend on in, trying to work it hard for the weight. It's got to get there. That's a big scrub by the front end there.
Yeah, really good scrub. It was, I'm not even sure where it ended up, but I think she, yeah, there it is there. So probably shot rock, I guess. It's just pretty close, but she's going after it. So it tells me it's probably shot. And I didn't think it was getting that far. I really thought she was only going to end up in the 12-foot. Kayla's really just going to be able to pick this out. She's not going to be able to do much more than that, I don't think. But she might pick it out and make a double too, so.
Skrlik with her last in the fourth. This one looks like it's outside a little bit. It's going to have to come back in. Will it come back in? Can they bring it over? Can they get it? Can they get enough? One and just past everything there. So they did job A.
Yeah, they pretty much made the double. I mean, they were never going to sit four. So you can see it come down here. They had to work to get it over there, but when it finally got there, it hit it just about perfect to make the double. And she was going to, best she was ever going to do was sit three. So good shot. Big shot here.
So Park. Final stone on the fourth end. Has to draw the four to tie it up.
This should be close, judging by my... Oh, a little heavy, I think.
This has got to slow down. Can it dig in for the skip? Sliding through. How far does it go? Oh, and that's a steal of three. Disaster striking for the Koreans. And it's Skrlik with a 7-3 lead after four. We'll be back with more after this.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmel Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
SaskTel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? SaskTel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
And we're back here after what can't be anything called anything less than a disaster in the fourth for Park.
Yeah, I mean, it was an end that kind of went a little back and forth, but she had what would be considered to be a relatively easy draw at this level, and just really had to hit full 8-foot and just flat out missed it. There's not really anything else to say about it. She was drawing ace-3 and went to the back of the 12-foot. So tough break. They make a lot of good shots and a rough end.
So we're certainly going to see double guards here. Kind of surprised that Skrlik threw a guard.
Yeah, said I didn't miss that, so I didn't catch you.
I was a little surprised that there's a centerline guard from Skrlik there.
Yeah, me too. Was that intentional?
We came back and it was there.
Oh, okay. I can't imagine that it was that was an intentional. I suspect she was just light. I can't 7-3. I wouldn't imagine everybody would ever throw a center guard in the fifth end.
Now this one's on the lighter side as well. Park electing to come right in now. I also would have expected another guard there, really.
Yeah, one corner is not really going to do the trick. I don't think so. But she can use the center one if she has to, I guess.
I think that's there. That might be part of the plan now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, they have those come arounds in their back pocket, though.
Yeah, the draw around to the corners are just they've got that nail for sure.
They are making that look a lot easier than it is.
Yeah. It's a little better corner too. It's a little bit deeper. It could still probably be even a little deeper than that, but it's much better than the long one that we've seen a few times. She probably sees an inch or two of this rock.
Is in tight. Fleming and Ramsey working this one really hard to get down there. They're going to get around the guard. Come down to it. and tap it just a couple centimeters, and they sit shot stone, welded on there.
Yeah, it's a good shot. Very aggressive play by Skrlik in this end. I mean, she couldn't really remove anything yet, but just to come around there and sit there is just a heck of a shot. I thought she might just come around the center again, or even just rub that guard over.
I think we saw Kayla there indicating what stones she wants to have thrown next.
Yeah.
All these teams pay so much attention to every detail. Just past the guard again. They definitely made the angles better for him.
Oh, angle's much better, yeah. And I think that's all she could really achieve there, to be honest. I think it was more like she might have preferred not to curl quite that much, just kind of get just on the nose sort of thing, which would have still freed up the red. But that's a darn good shot. It's early enough in the end that they have lots of chance to make that work for them.
And by throwing that quiet weight, they leave their own rock in the neighborhood and potentially in a position where it could score at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they don't lose that back one that as well. So yeah, no, just a good shot.
So Skrlik looking to throw this one out with some pretty decent weight.
Yeah, seemed to indicate peel weight here.
Fleming on it hard to try to get it past everything. Can he skiddy by? Yes, you do. And you get them both along the way.
Yeah,
that's
super
just
good
awesome.
shot. Yeah. You can see it come down here, and I'm sure Kayla all along was thinking the double, not so much just the single, and they just managed it well. They swept a little bit, didn't have to do a lot, and bang, bang, and it's all good. The good news for the Koreans, though, they've got that rock to work with as far as getting a roll behind the corner again, and the red one's not a problem now, so.
This needs to come over to do that. Maybe you go the other way now. Lost the broom in the process. That's what happens when a skip tries to sweep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think I don't know if she realized it was quite that heavy or not, but they were still trying to make it curl a little bit towards the end, and you would have thought maybe if they had thought of it early enough, they could have gone the other way and maybe gotten a bit of a roll behind the center, but
I find when I'm playing, that's one of my most frustrating moments when I'm caught in between on a shot.
Yeah. That happened in the morning game on a draw, and Nancy Martin drawing against 3, and they got caught in between and went through the hole on a shot by was probably a foot too long. This one's might go behind the corner, it might go right out.
It's gonna stay on over. Order a cup of coffee.
No surprise here. Turn, come around. Assuming we got the left-hander and in turn, come around, I guess.
They think it's the weight's a little big before she even threw it.
Yeah, she looked like she was coming out pretty good. That's got to be heavy.
Not even thinking about sweeping that, because it will meander its way all the way through and go back and play with its yellow friends.
Yeah, bad miss there for the third for Team Park. It's just a shot like that for me is at this with this level and with people that have the deliveries that these guys have and everything. It's just a focus miss really more than anything else because there's not really any other way to look at it. It's that rock was 12, 15 feet heavy, so.
And here's Margot Fleming. With that draw coming right around, right to the eyebrow.
Yeah. Very nice shot. Park's not a lot of choice here other than to try to move some rocks. You hate to do it down 4 with, the game half over, but right now scoring 1 is even going to be a challenge, so she has to do something.
Going to ask Lee to remove at least 2 of these here. On the way, it's a heater. It's got to come on up. Just peel it by. Leave a corner, but I think he wanted to get more than that.
Yeah, definitely did. Yeah, definitely wanted to get one that was get at least the top of the one at the top of the 12-foot. Now Skrlik really can just throw the same shot.
And it took away, you've taken away one draw path to the 4-foot now. The other one doesn't have a lot of room.
No. Yeah, definitely nothing there on the out-turn side. So Ramsey holds the broom for Skrlik.
Fleming and Skrlik on the brush. And they put that one in a really nice place, and they are still lined up Christmas tree.
Yeah, it's a good shot too. Looks like Park thinks she maybe can get there with the draw. She doesn't seem to be looking at the high one at all right now. I think if you're going to go in there, you might as well get.
I don't think there's any other choice. Sorry to step on you.
Yeah, no, it's okay. My fault. It's an interesting choice there. It's you could put it just on the corner there and think, well, I might have to run the yellow one into it afterwards for 2, but I think I'd be fine. If I'm going to play the shot, I think I'm going to be inclined to go right around the one, even on the button, and try to get shot rock as maybe even on the back of the button if it had to be, just to give me a chance here. I don't know if I really like it being number 2.
So Youbeen Park looking to find a way to build herself a skip's deuce here. In the 5th, trailing by a whole bunch.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room to work with this one, but she really has no options, really. Probably just a little discussion here, more on maybe on weight than anything else.
Has been a little bit since we've thrown a draw that way. So here's Park with her first. Needs to get one in there. A lot of rotation on this stone.
I don't know if they're going to get there.
And it is going to be light.
Yeah, significantly light too. I don't know if they just couldn't figure out the number for her, or if it was if she just pulled the string a little bit on it. But they were on it right out of her hand. So,
I mean, to me, it did look like it had more handle on it than her prior delivery.
yeah. And you may well be right, and that might have been intentional too, because I know that, you know, sometimes where you're playing with this big curl and you've got to get it to stay a little bit straighter for you, you give it that little extra handle, and usually it will stay out there a little bit longer. Problem is, if you're not used to doing that, sometimes it also means it just messes up your feel for the weight too.
So a good one here from Skrlik, and you're going to be running something in crazily, I would think.
Yeah, it's not going to be good for sure. She's going to have a hard time. I think she's going to have a hard time scoring with any kind of shot at all by Kayla here.
Kayla Skrlik with her last, she sits 3. Looking to make it really tough on Park here. Hanging out there a little bit. Just gets past the guard. Don't want to leave it catcher. Get it all the way back if it's going to be heavy. And they do lie 4.
Yeah, it's you know, you don't want to go behind the tee line, but it's far enough behind the tee line that with a 7-3 lead, if she wants to come to that, that's fine. So and she won't want to come to it, but even if she does come to it, it'll be a point for Skrlik and really kind of take total control of this game away.
So final stone of the 5th for Youbeen Park. Yang working it hard to stay out there. Now they like the weight. Now carve it over. You got to be full button, and it's going to have to find breaks. Got to stop. And I do believe it's going to be 1 yellow, and yes, it is. So a key shot there for the Korean skip to hang on, and it's now 7-4. Skrlik with the lead when we come back in Martensville.
Don't forget your brooms.
You got it.
Come on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice bat has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Saskatchewan, you know SaskTel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With SaskTel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. SaskTel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sastel.com/sponsorships.
Curling members.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay, and here we are. Back in the 6th end. Skrlik with the hammer and a 3-point lead.
Yeah, certainly not the result in the 5th end that Park would have liked. Really needed a couple to get really seriously back in this one, but did make a nice draw to manage to save the game, basically, because you're probably handshakes if she doesn't make that last draw against 3. And so she's playing now, and 3 ends to go, down 3. Certainly not an impossible task. Second row and in a row, the Skrlik ended up with a guard. I know this time she has hammer. Last time she didn't, so we might argue it made some sense the last end, but I don't think in either one of those cases do you really want to have a guard. You might as well throw it in because chances are Park's going to guard anyways.
Right, Park is happy with stuff out front. Congestion is their friend right now.
Yeah.
This one gets half under. Pretty sure they would have preferred that stayed off the rings there.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's going to peel her own out. So obviously a mistake the last shot.
So Jerry Lynn Ramsey being asked to perform the infamous peel of shame.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Going to get one on the way. There you go. Okay. There's no shame in that.
No. No. It's a little bit of a bonus.
Great result there. Leads don't get to throw too many of them. So here's Kim. Ends up with that center guard.
Yeah, that one's too deep, really. It's most of the time we've seen them and they've been too long, but this one is a little bit too deep with Skrlik looking to make the double now. And she makes the double, she rolls away, and this end going to be really hard for Park to mount any kind of an offense at all.
Might get all 3 of those moving. Ashton Skrlik with the bomb. And just jams it on her own.
Actually, that's a much better setup for the Koreans, too. They're going to go a little longer. I don't know if they have to, but they're going to throw one more out there. Guess all what this does do, it'll protect a double on the other two that are in front, but might be inclined to go right around. But not going to hurt him by having another rock out here.
Well, by throwing the extra rock, it's going to make sure that Skrlik keeps on investing there.
Yeah. She's going to slash it in towards the other ones. Looks like almost zero ice. Actually, looks like it would have to back up a little bit to make this shot.
All right, so let's reload that howitzer. And we fire away. And just a straight peel, but nothing wrong with that.
No, that's that's definitely plan A1 or something like that for sure. It's not really a plan B. So sometimes skips indicate they want you to run it back into that rock, but they don't really give it a chance. It's just like, I'm not going to take a chance of leaving it there, so we're going to sweep it anyway.
And Park is committed to this. Trying to get another guard. Needs to find the breaks. Oh, and that overcurls quite a bit.
Yeah. Interesting to see here, though, what Skrlik decides to do. Your gut tells you want to hit some of these rocks or get rid of some of these rocks, but I'm sure part of her sort of looking at it saying we could come right around. It'd be pretty good shape.
Because I think we're getting to the point where Park's going to have to play in at some point as well.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're going after the middle ones here.
Yeah. I don't know why, though.
Margot Fleming. With her first. That'll be a straight peel on their own.
I truly don't quite understand that shot. I don't know what that did. Park could still come around the whole thing and be fully guarded. It didn't create a hole or anything. I don't know. I'm just not getting that. Park looking at a draw or a hit and roll. I think, the problem with the hit and roll is you're only going to have 8 foot. So I think the come around's a shot.
So you got to try to get around everything here. Will be Yuncho Lee.
Might be a little hot. Interesting. I think that would have been too heavy, judging by where it hit that rock to. But they must have thought it was too heavy because they weren't making any attempt at all getting it around that guard.
Now Fleming will try again to get some of these rocks to go. This looks like just going to get the one, though. Ooh. And Harley does that.
Yeah. So same decision for Park. Do you come around or do you play a hit and a roll?
I think you bring it around.
I think you do too.
And looking at Fleming there in the split screen, it looked like she was saying that she just set that one just a little bit out.
Okay, yeah.
So the broom's in the same place, but you really didn't get too much of a read on what the curl's going to do with the last rock because it was too heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
This one is not heavy. The line is fantastic. Keep on dragging it. Drag it, ladies. Come on, get it there. And you just did get shot out of it. Big scrub by the front end there.
Looks like Skrlik's going to waste no time here. Going to play the front one.
That's why I would have loved to have been, I'd say, almost 3 or 4 feet deeper there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think, if you go deeper, then you might set up the run on your red on the yellow, but you're kind of grasping a little bit now anyway. You just have to get it in the best place you can and hope that somewhere you get a miss along the way.
That is an awful lot of stone twirling.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's going after the back one now.
It's twirl the stone the other way to get ready for that.
Hmm.
This one looks to be a touch up. Gonna adjust a little bit of a clean nail. Work it over a little bit. Oh, you just pick it out, and it is not going to clear the rings. It does leave Park line second there.
Probably changes her shot call here, actually. Maybe not.
I think she's convinced that she's going to go hard to try to steal one here, and rather than make Skrlik play against two.
Yeah, I don't disagree, although I do think that Skrlik will play some kind of a hit. So if you can put this one in the right place, and pretty much a nose hit does it. Just nose or a little bit left of nose from where we are, but just a little. So you maybe kind of get it edge on edge or just about edge on edge with the back one. I think she's going to play a hit, which, there's always a chance of stealing one for sure that way. So just threw the draw though, and really just needed another couple of feet of weight to be perfect. So she's going to be back on the draw. Not surprised by this.
So here's Park. With her last of the sixth. And try to get in a really good place to keep hope alive.
Nobody touching this. That would indicate probably pretty heavy.
Lee and Kim want nothing to do with this. It is cooking. It is cooking. And it is overdone. So now we have free draw for 2.
Yeah, that wasn't very close, really. I would have expected her to be a little bit closer than that. She's been around her weight most of the day, so a bit surprised that throw it through like that.
Kayla Skrlik looking to put this one away. Final stone the 6th. Fleming taking the lead brush here. Not overly concerned on it, just escorting it right now. Just wants to settle on in. Touch the 4. And there you go. That too will do. And that's 9-4. And that will be handshakes here. And it's Kayla Skrlik with the victory here over Youbeen Park. Final score, 9-4. Jim, it had so many opportunities here. It's just a couple key shots that went the wrong way.
Yeah, I think so. When it got back to 3-3 after those first 2 ends, I really thought that this would be a really tight affair after that. And just kind of some shots that some easy shots that were missed and some missing by too much and all that kind of stuff. So I think both teams probably need to just play a little better as they move on here, and we'll see how they get along. Triple knockout for 5 spots at the end of the day. They certainly have some room to wiggle room, if you will. I think Skrlik probably is in an A final now just after 1 game. So yeah, it'll be still going to be an interesting event.
Okay, so hang with us, and we'll be back on the air at 9:30 with the call of the game. And we have lots of action all weekend long. You can check it all out on curlingzone.com. Please like and subscribe to us on YouTube so you never miss a draw. You can follow all your favorite teams. So from Martensville, this is the Curling Stadium Invitational. I'm Dave Schmel and Jim Nix saying so long for now.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.